Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Bink or Bust 100K Bankroll Challenge. I'm underestimated, and we're going to get right into it here. Clean up the screen a little bit. Dates, some stuff, and I guess we'll jump right into the tables. Get that updated. Update that as well. So we're currently down on the challenge, but that's fine. We've only been playing like 5,000 hands or so, and have not been running the best so far. EV, we're below EV, but gotta get on a different table here. Sorry, get a different screen up for the stream. Let me know if the music's too quiet or too loud. I can adjust that slightly. There we go. That's better. Okay. So I guess we'll start right off with checking that. We left yesterday going in the right direction. However, we did do a happy hour run, and it was pretty swingy. We were down 3 buy-ins, and then we were even, and we were up a couple buy-ins at one point. And then by the end of it, we just ended up down for 20 bigs. I'm just going to shift the deuces. And we'll just make a quick note of that. 3x. Folded. Go to the small line. On 19 line. Oh, stack. Alright. And then we're going to get a fish. Big fish tag. So yeah, as you can see, it actually was going pretty good EV-wise. And then yesterday, oh, you can't see this, I gotta bring it over. Okay, readjust this. Right, so here's the whole challenge. We're only into day 3. And yeah, anyways, the first 4,000 hands are going great for the most part. Pretty low, pretty far below EV, but we were up 300 at about 4,000 hands, give or take, which is pretty successful. And then we started mixing more NL100 in, so this, swing looks a little bit more drastic than it actually is, compared to like just playing straight NL50. What's going on here? Get rid of that. Maybe unfold 3 deuce suited. We're just gonna fold it. So yeah, anyways, we played happy hour yesterday. Pretty much right here, I think, is where we started happy hour. I just played yesterday, and it kind of just went. It's a bit of a heavy drop off the start, and then the session just leveled out after that. So we're going to be opening, but yeah, not much that we can really do about that. It's, depending how you want to look at it, we're running, somewhere between 3 to 4 buy-ins below EV, between L50 and L100, which is fine. I have full 10 deuce and queen 7 suited. We're going to raise. Yeah. That is where we are at currently. We are a few days in, and we're running cold. Let's check out the bad beat jackpots from last night. See if there's any hits. Nothing. Okay. We're gonna ISO with the queen jack. So with ISO raises, I generally just try to go as big as I possibly can until they start folding, because the ISO raise, I don't think he checks back an ace enough. I think we're just gonna block bet here and call by like a 7 or a worse stack. He does raise. Probably gonna end up stationing this. to be honest. It's probably like a really bad station, but to me, he just called everything that's not a flush, and then when he checks back the flop, I don't really think he has that many flushes. Uh, and I don't think he ever check raises an ace here. So I think it's either 8, 10, pocket nines, or just like random crap most of the time. Does have ace 7. Here we are going to fold. So just take a quick note of that, and we're going to stop stationing immediately. Which is fine. That's a fine line. Well, the raise on the river is a fine line from him. Here, generally not ISOing ace jack off of that much, but against somebody raising this much and playing this many hands, it's a super profitable raise. And chip devil generally is just folding. And like you can ISO ace jack always, against later position like limp call or raise calls. But against under the gun players, their range is just going to be so much tighter. But obviously, somebody who's playing 81% of hands and raising like 26%, and three betting a ton and stealing a ton, is just going to have so many weaker hands that we just go with it. And against a fish, I'm just going to bet here more often than not. I think they give up a lot. And I think we just end up taking it down. And I also think, even though low boards are generally better, obviously for the pre-flop caller than the pre-flop raiser, somebody who's a mega fish is going to have all of the like ace 10, queen king, king 10 offsuit type hands that they should just be folding. So when the small cards come out, if you have an ace and you have some equity, it's going to be a problem to raise. Okay, so we raise with kings, and for the 100th time, there's an ace the flop. I think three-handed we just check here. We're gonna call. Yeah, I think we call, and then if it goes, and then if anybody bets on the river, we probably end up folding. That's sort of unfortunate. And because we're three-way, I probably just lay this down. I mean, we definitely have to call sometimes. I think it's probably better to be calling heads up, because Shoxy can definitely still have an ace, at least some portion of the time. And we're going to 4-bet and call the ace queen suited against Lenny. Guess I better get this muted, eh? Don't need to hear me talking twice like yesterday for the entire stream. Yeah, fold 10-6. Unfortunately, the tables have been pretty dead lately in the mornings. They used to be bopping. You used to have like 3 or 4 NL50 tables up, 3 or 4 NL100 tables up, or at least 2, 3, 4 NL200 tables up. But lately, it's just it's been pretty much complete silence on that front. Plug this keypad in. Like we're lucky these days to have, 2 or 3 tables logged in. And we just fold the king queen. Okay, we are calling a jack nine. Fold queen seven suited. Fold king nine here. And we will call again. Fold the queen seven. So what happened? You guys are raid. He calls. He leads flop. Leads turn. Call, and then he goes half pot up river. 5-6 got there. Ace 5 missed. Ace 2 missed. He did have a 3. Like third up. Pocket. 3 makes pocket. 3's less likely. Just gonna go bigger with 4s and 7s. I guess I fold. Jack 9. Probably has too many like Jack 10, Jack Queen, Jack Kings in his hand. His raises is too suited. We raise. Raise the Ace King. And I don't like fish. I don't think they're going to donk bet, bluff shove river, bluff river often enough. Probably better to just move on from the hand. Flop top pair here, monotone board. Okay, checks again to us. I think we can go for some value here. Ace King on this board. We're just gonna go big for value. Obviously going big with bluffs too. 8-10, 5-8, 6-8, stuff like that. Okay. Fold king suited. Okay, calls 6-7. So a hand like 6-8 is gonna call again now. He needs 8-10 to have the straight. 5-8. Obviously ace 6, ace 7, ace 9, check raise right now. So he's at a position. So if he has like pocket 6s, pocket 7s, pocket 9s, if he has e6, e9, e7, he's going to check raise all of those here. 8-10, 5-8, all of those hands are probably going to check raise here. His ace jacks, his ace queens are just going to call. So ace jack improves. We're still ahead of a bunch of aces though. Ace 8, we're ahead of ace 10, ace queen. We're ahead of like 8, 9, 9, 10, stuff like that. So we're not going to go huge, but we are going to go for value here. He's checked to us twice now. So we're probably just going to go bet. You could also just go check here. Both are fine. And we're going to bet again. I don't think he has too many aces in his small blind call range. He might have ace queen though, but I think he ends up leading those a lot on the turn. So we check back flop. We have a lot of hands that are just looking to get to showdown. So we decided to turn our hand of 4s into a bluff, and we're basically just trying to fold out like, pocket 5s, pocket 3s, 6x, those types of hands. We check back tons of aces there on the flop, so we can easily have an ace there. The ace 9, this board, we're just going to range bet. Okay, and we're going to do a lot of double barreling. Lucky here. I'm not sure what to think about this guy. I have him marked as a fish. He's always got his helmet on. He always seems to be relatively decent. Although he did call 2 bets with ace 6 there. Fold 4-3. Okay. 5-cent, 10-cent action. No thanks. Okay. Hold 6-5. Jack 4. Hopefully, we can get some more action here soon. It's brutal how bad the tables have been lately. I guess there are two NL50 or NL100 tables running that we're trying to get on. Raise up Jack 8. If you guys are watching the stream, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Helps draw some attention to the channel every time somebody hits that like button. We do a lot of checking on this board. Once it checks to us twice, I am going to value bet the 9. And probably, yeah. So 6-7 improved, 7-8, 8-9 improved, 9-10 improved. I think we beat enough to call here. And the river donkey is the fishiest of fishy things. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad in a sense, because I feel like most players undervalue bet rivers. So the donk lead is generally pretty strong because they don't want to miss value. And I think in reality, they would miss value by not betting because people will hero call there some portion of the time. So unless you're looking to get like your opponent to bluff, that like I think that like leading out isn't terrible. And the issue with checking is that when the flush card comes in on the river after you take like a check call line, the odds of somebody bluffing into you are like relatively low. I think against this player we could value at the 8 here. Or get beat by better 8. It's unfortunate. The ace queen down here. I think turn flop 1 check check, turn 1 check check. Okay, we're just gonna overbet here. I think we're just trying to like burn him off a chop most of the time here. Like a 6 bets turn. So unless he has a 9 there, if he raises, it's just a pretty easy fold. Most of the time we're just gonna be trying to win, like push him off a chop. 9 suited fold. Here we'll just take a flop. We'll take it 4 ways with the 5s. I think that's fine. We're not going to win a time, but if we do it a set, the odds improve of getting some value out of it. So what here? Check, check, bet. We'll call. Yeah. I think we could value bet this river. I think that's probably a missed bet. After he, check, check, small bet, and checks river. Oh, wow. Ace-7 off, just below opening range. May end up just opening up this table, play him heads up. So doesn't seem to be a whole lot else going on. Okay, whatever. Okay, the A6 off. We'll start the call. He starts the 3x open. Fold 4-3. You don't do a lot of calling. A6 might even be like a pure 3-bet there. I don't think it is. We are going to check raise this though when he goes 1/3 pot on a board like this. I think bet sizing is probably one of the biggest tells people will have at the smaller stakes. Kind of just tell you when they're looking to get a showdown, and they'll tell you when they have a big hand, and they'll bet big for value and they'll push for it. Fold the 9-6. Okay, no 4-bet out of Choxy. Gotcha, that's accepted. It's plus. So we're gonna go big here. Against the stationary player, we don't want to play. I mean, this is a board we go big on anyways. But against fish and against whales, you kind of theoretically throw some of the GTO out the window. And we kind of focus more specifically on like our hand value, and we just push our hand value against them and what we think that hand is worth. So in this spot, we know Shocks is stationary, so we expect them to be calling with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9s on the flop. We pick up a lot of equity on the turn, and there's 2 flush draws out there. I think we're just going to check our 10 and push for the showdown. But we will 3-bet the 5s there sometimes. Try just the ace king suited go here. I think value betting's too thin with the 10, so we're just going to check. He did get there on the turn. It's 9. Okay, king 8 deuce flop is going to be betting this almost 100% of the time with a small bet. He did pot it, so we'll probably just let that go this time. There's lots of little things that you can kind of pick up on with fish, like that full pot there. A lot of the time, they'll full pot when they have a king, even though it actually is a pretty dry board. They'll go full pot because they're just scared of the flush draws, right? And people fall into that trap all the time too, like over raising in spots you probably shouldn't be raising. You should just be calling. And it comes out of fear of kind of what's going to come on the turn or river. It's hard to not fall into that, you know, like a set and there's like a flush draw on the turn and you just kind of rip it. Because you don't want to see a river almost. Well, you want to see a river, but you want to get value before you see the river, where sometimes the better play is just to kind of call the next card fall, which is most likely going to be a brick, and then you can keep all their bluffs in versus the shove where, you know, you rip it in and then, you know, if they call you're 60-40 anyways kind of thing. So we got 2 NL 100 tables up now, 2 NL 25, and a single NL 50 up. And we're sitting heads up on the other one. And we will raise the 10-9 off. We do brick, and because we know lucky cards is a pretty big station, I'm just going to check back the ace king. A lot of small blind calling ranges are small pocket pairs, so I expect we're pretty far behind here, at least a large portion of the time. And I don't mind just kind of giving up certain spots. You can also argue that just range betting everything at the lower stakes against fish is going to be a pretty profitable play because they overfold to small bets, so you're kind of technically printing. Every time you small bet and they fold, you're making money, right? So you should be doing a lot of small betting and you should be doing a lot of double barreling. Okay, Congo man calls, stamped suited grandpa just rips it. I'm gonna call the ace-9 suited. I expect Congo man to fold like 100% of the time there. Okay, we're gonna 3-bet the Jack-10 suited. We do hit our 9, so we're just dodging a 6 for his straight. Or deuce. No 6, no deuce. For 20 big win. Nice. And we see bet the 5-4 suited, take that down. Fold here. This is a really big 4-bet. We are going to fold that. Our fold here. Against the cutoff ISO. I'm going to squeeze here with the king queen offsuit. I think it's a little too strong of a hand to fold, but we don't want to be calling out of the small blind and out of position, so we don't want to call it either. So it's either squeeze or fold in those spots. And we're going to fold the king 3. And I guess we will set up poker craft so we can easily check our results on the day. That's kind of a big stream thing, is to check often. I know we made a video a couple weeks ago. Looks like we are slightly down, about not checking our results very often. 3.5x, just call it this time. Pretty good flop for us. We're gonna lead out here. And we're going to barrel turn. But when you're streaming, it's sort of a big part of it. People like to see the results as you go, see where you're sitting. I'd like to find a better way to track that, but I think GG just has so many blocks on HUDs and everything else. There's not a whole lot you can do other than literally just pull up PokerCraft, refresh it, show it, and go. Okay. 2 callers, we're just going to do a lot more checking when you're not heads up post flop. Okay, they both check. I think we can stab here, and then we're going to value that now. But we can stab and then do a lot of barreling on the river to get them to fold off a lot of their hands. Now, obviously, after this guy tanks, if he raises, he just has the 4. Probably has like 8-9 though. He's 7, just calls ace high. No. Okay, so stationing. Careful. Wow. Okay, queen 9 folding. We're going to open up the ace 2 suited. And again, sort of same principle as before. Ace queen's a good hand. We do not want to call out of position against 3 players. We will lose the large majority of the time. I think that's a big reason why so many people have such a negative red line, is there's way too much calling. I think if you talk to anybody and they're in the big blind and you say, hey, somebody raises, mid position and cutoff calls, is your range supposed to be wider or tighter out of the big blind? And people will say wider because pot odds, which is in fact not really the reality. And hands, like 8-3 or 8-4 and 8-5 suited, and they're like 10-5 suited, you're just going to have so much domination when you're multi-way, especially based on the type of range that people cold call with. But you've got to avoid that as much as possible. Otherwise, basically every time you call, your red line goes down. That's kind of what the reality is. Most often, when you 3-bet or raise pre-flop, it's either going to go to showdown or you're going to win at non-showdown, right? And that just kind of creates a better red line naturally without having to do anything crazy. With that said, most red line issues come from the blinds, small blind, big blind. Not raising enough, not defending enough, not 3-betting enough, and just calling. We will fold the queen 9 before deuce. We are going to double barrel here when the club goes off. 7s will call. So he snap calls again. Just going to throw out our classic 10% river bet. I love how often this thing works. It is hilarious. Here, the ace rolls off and checks the turn and checks river. I think we're just going to bet the queen now for value. I'm going to call down and station down the 7s. We do chop, so the ace saved us. Fold 10-5. And honestly, you should almost never. You should just never check the river, because that 10% works so often. If you're just giving up, just bet 10%. Looks like it's back. ggpoker was kind of twitching out there for a minute. Okay, we're gonna raise up the ace-9 suited. Fold queen-8. Or sorry, I guess check the queen-8. We did raise the ace-9. I hope I see this flop. I did. Calls. I'm gonna double barrel this turn as well. Okay, make the straight. We're gonna value bet it. Okay, check raises this time. We are gonna let it go. And we are gonna value bet again here with the straight. Okay, take it down. Raise the king-jack suited. See if we're back in the black. We are. Okay, king-9 off. We're gonna bump up. It's got 3 bets. The so this is a spot we fold sometimes, we 4-bet sometimes, and we call sometimes. We're gonna chop it up with the king jack. Or no, we don't chop it up, sorry, we lose the king jack. So Mr. Sugi obviously just spewing away, so we're going to be looking to have big dominating hands more so against him when we're betting, and really pushing the pot like ace king, because we expect him to call down with ace queen and just stack off with it. So we're going to want to have those stronger hands. Okay, the ace-6 suited, he limp calls. We bet. He calls again. And I think we're going to bet. I expect him to call again. And then on the river, I'm just going to fire. Because his limp calling range is going to be so wide, we just get stationed right down. That's, oh my god. I'm going to lose my mind soon. That is so bonkers to call down there. Okay, but we better put a bigger station. No. Let's call Jack 10 off, PTG, and call 9 XX flop. Call Big X turn, call river. So here, we raise calls. We are going to see bet on the king. So that would be a big factor, is running good. Because obviously most of the time there, we're just going to go bet, and he's folding that river. Unfortunately, he hit the jack and called, which is kind of bonkers in itself, I think. It's also not the greatest of boards for us to be barreling against like a limp call range, because it's usually low cards. Okay, the ace-5, we open up. Ace-5. The ace-9 offsuit, again, 20 big open, small blind, we're just going to rip it. Raise the ace-9 suited. We are going to ice queen 4 suited. Here, we're going to 4-bet the ace-9 suited as well. Yeah, he's aggro enough. Prize poker pro didn't just okay. Donk leads into us. Gets the call. Obviously the money, we're just going to put the money in here. We have the flush draw now. We do have second pair with top kicker. He probably just has like pocket aces. When he calls calls in 4-bet. Ace 10. It's so annoying. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, man. Can't catch a break here. These tables sometimes, it seems like. It's just such a crazy thing to donk lead half pot with ace 10 there. That is bonkers. I did like that he considered folding turn though. For a few seconds anyways. But sometimes when you're just running bad, you just kind of find yourself in all these awkward spots. Maybe just chalk it up to running bad. I don't know. But I think uh, there's not really a whole lot to do in that stage. Four betting's good pre-flop. Uh, Calling the donk lead for half pot on this board is good post flop, and then we're obviously just committed on the turn, so you might as well get it in with your flush draw and second pair um, when there's only like 15 big blinds behind or something like that. So, but the crazy thing is, like the way he played the hand, the only thing he beats with that hand that he has is basically exactly what we had, a 9 that turned into a flush draw on the turn. Uh, and that's about it. Like pocket tens, 10-9 suited, all these hands that sometimes 4-bet beat you. That doesn't really. Oh, he left. Ugly. Replace the fish with fucking Captain Sir Nits a lot over there. We'll just call the 8s here. Okay. Check the pocket 8s. Fold 7 deuce. Check fold the 8s here. Well, let's check. So many ace ace and triple ace boards lately. A little frustrating after that. Okay, 6-4 fold, 8-3 fold, 8-4 offsuit fold. We might as well, you guys paid it after our up tip there. It's sort of straight down on 2 different spots. Honestly, when you're playing, I guess it depends. Like this pool is weird, where it's like all the regs are so nitty that generally it's like your swings are less when you're playing against the regs, but then when you're playing against the fish, like money just goes in so often. So if you're running bad or playing bad or getting it in bad spots, you're gonna get stacked significantly more often. We just fold the 9s, I think. Might be a call. After like check, 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 check. It might be a call. Okay, we're gonna raise the aces and maybe get some action. No, no, no. Guy's playing 72 and 51, and it's just gonna fold straight through. Do love to see that. That's my favorite. Just getting a walk. Just getting a walk. Yeah, guys playing every hand. You just pick up aces and get a walk. Probably just have to squeeze this again. How often is he opening? Yeah, I think we just have to squeeze that. An easy fold if he shoves. And these guys are obviously playing huge ranges. Perfect. Perfect. A nice brick. Nice brick flop. We'll just go 10% here. We do have a queen and king that can be good. We have pocket jacks that could be good. Okay. Okay. I wonder if JD had ace king or something there. That's kind of a classic line too. Okay, pocket aces again. Ruby Jones with the ISO raise. I'm gonna call here because I'd rather keep Poker Pro in. He does fold, unfortunately. Okay, we're gonna check over to Ruby. Just fold the 9-7 suited this time. King's not a great card. He can rep that a lot. Like once he checks flop, uh, yeah, like you do a lot of checking on this flop. King Queen would bet. King 10 probably bets. I feel like Ace King probably bets a lot as well. But I think honestly, it kind of feels a bit more bluffy because he went so big on the turn there on the king, but he has a lot of kings in his range. I think he has a lot of other hands, but I think we just called it a big blind here, right? Is that what happened? Okay, fair enough. What the fuck happened here? I don't know why. If we ISO raised that, it was way too small. Just gonna try to check down now. Not sure what I did on that flow, but it wasn't good. Okay, raise the king 8 off, fold the 9-4. Okay. Yeah, we're done with this hand. We're just stabbed at it basically. Pocket ace as well. It's a good way to get value. It's a really good way to get value. Call pre-flop out of position. Blind first big blind. Oh man, that is some wild shit. It's insane how bad that is. Obviously, they don't know they're just playing for fun, but like, what do you think happens there with pocket aces? Unless the flop comes like ace, 7 deuce, and you have aces and I have pocket sevens. Um, there's never a dime going in there. And he's just gonna check this too often, so we have to lead out. Um, you know what I mean? Like if he gets stacked post flop, 99.9% of the time, if money goes in post flop and you like limp pocket aces, you're losing because nobody's gonna in a pot that's 2 big blinds or 3 big blinds on the flop is gonna get all their money in with like a pair of kings. You know what I mean? Like top pair. Like you're never gonna stack somebody ever in that spot. Okay. We do have somebody sitting heads up. It's good to see. Looks like there is another NL100 table opening up. Okay, we're gonna ISO here, fold queen 7. So we will sit that table as well. We're gonna fold the ace 8. Once again, I'm gonna call this time. Okay, we are gonna fold the 3-6 versus the raise. Okay, nice bluff. Raise deuces. Fold the ace 5. Check the deuces. Can check raise here sometimes, but I think multi-way will just let that go. So I think we're just gonna call 1 here, but we're not gonna get crazy. Uh-oh. It's got just stuck calling probably. Goes half pot. That's interesting. I mean, we call now for sure. Oh, go for the check raise. Nice. So now we have to decide again. Like this, see, this is like what I'm talking about. This is the fishiest of fish lines going. You know what? I'm gonna protect my 10% bet range, and I'm gonna go 10% here. And it sucks to be at these hurts. Nice. That 10% is beautiful. It's probably my favorite line to take because we do protect it. Like I will protect it with like the king of hearts here. You know what I mean? We'll protect it with small flush draws. Like I'll do a bunch of stuff because people will spew over you too. So you gotta have a range that you're willing to call. You know, but there's lots of times I'll do that 10% with like second pair, and I do fully intend to call when somebody raises me on the river too. Um, okay, Mr. Shuggy with the limp. With pocket dudes, we'll just ISO him. Chip it. We'll go for an ISO as well. If he has any spade, he's calling. He's probably calling anything. Like this guy needs a big giant station life. Right. Okay. I'm gonna check to him. I don't think we're gonna be able to get him to fold. Now we're gonna value it. Nice. Come on, bro. How do you play that loose and not bet a 6 on the turn? Ay, ay, ay. Careful. 3-bet. I'll go right 3-bet here. B6. We ISO with the queen 3 suited, and we get cold called by Willet. Normally we would c-bet there, but with the cold call, we're just kind of done. 3-bet the ace king suited. ISO the 8-7 suited. We get 3-bet and then cold call. I guess I'll just fold my hand here. What happened here? Drew Clutney raises. Congo man cold calls. I am going to call here. The ace queen when we turn the ace. He checks. The question becomes, do we value bet the ace queen? I don't really know. Hearts are out there. I would assume he would rip hearts most times. We beat ace 10, we beat ace jack. But I think we probably shouldn't overplay our hand when there's a 3 flush out there. Oh, perfect. Oh, snap. Gonna lose my mind. Meg Allen's not. Like, we might sit him heads up here shortly. Folds forward. Okay, let's get a little update going. I think we were going good, but I'm pretty sure everything we won in that one hand is now gone again. Yeah, close to it. Close to it. We will 3-bet that sometimes. Okay, full ace suited. I will defend the 8-6 off. Oh, excuse me. And we're going to float here. Fold 9-6. And we'll just bluff the 6 on the turn. That's expected most times. Sorry guys, I got a little bit of cold, I think. Coming in. Fold 6-4, fold queen 4. Fold queen 5. Alright, ace 4, we're just gonna fold it. Alright, so I want to see that. Of course, Ruby Jones has a set because he is the biggest nit in this game. Raise, call, bet call, bet call, bet call. It's never folding top pair. You want to make note of that. Okay, we are 3-betting king queen off. 5-4. Okay, it's a good board for us. Just make that small. And then we're gonna go a little bit 30, 60. So we raise calls pre-flop. He's never gonna raise over here with like king 10, king jack. So he's just calling those hands. It's gonna be hard for him to find any bluffs on that board. So if he shoved, we'd probably just fold. Because people are not balanced, right? And because of that, he's just not going to have enough bluffs in his range for us to justify calling if he were to have shoved on that board. If he does shove, it's like 3s, 8s, ace 8, something like that. Way too often, ace 3 suited, ace 8 suited, that kind of stuff. Hero calls realistically should be pretty far, few and far between. Fold queen deuce against the squeeze. All right, ace queen will be raising this up. Fold the 8-4, fold the 8-5. 4 deuce offsuit and 5-3. So the real question is, how did I get a walk with aces and this guy is at the table? But we're gonna go sit Meg Allen here soon, just because I get some more tables going here. Gotta be able to get more hands going. Alright. So I think we have 8 tables up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we've got a pretty good table count now, which is nice. Queen 3, we're gonna start with the raise. We're gonna ISO the 10-8 suited. Right, Meg Allen fires a 3-bet off the hobby, to which we fold. Okay, we're gonna check fold here with the 9-7. We're not really interested. Yeah, I figured he was gonna leave. He usually does. Nice little hit and run, 3-bet and run. Okay, we're gonna raise the 10-8 suited, call the 10-8 suited. Could actually squeeze here with the 10-8 suited quite a bit. I'm going to double barrel because I think people overfold to double barrels. With the paired board, I think I like raising more. In the 10 we're check. It's a really bad outcome. Oh, Jack 6 suited then. Perfect. It's a really good hand. Really good hand. Really good hand to lose to. And we're gonna bet the 7 here. We are folding the hearts here, so that's like the worst outcome that could happen, is getting shoved on there because we just burned off all of our equity, but the odds of that happening are pretty low. I think he just called or folds like extremely often. And against this guy, we're just gonna kind of try to milk him with small bets. Because he calls so wide, like he's gonna call 6-7, he's gonna call 7-8. He'll call hearts, he's calling 8-10. Like there's tons of hands that we're still beating, even though it looks, you know, pretty dire when we just have bottom pair there. I guess we check here. And and we will be raising now. That down, raise the jack, ace 8 suited. I'd like to get rid of these in all 25 tables. Kind of just distracting almost, if anything. Ruby Jones with the open, a call. I think we're just going to squeeze the king 10 suited. Ace 8, we're going to raise, or ace king, sorry, we're going to raise that up. 2.8 is our standard. That was a bit of a misclick. Okay, Ruby Jones, 918. We are 4-betting and getting it in. Unfortunately, the odds are if he's all in, just has pocket aces. All right, what do you think? Place your bets. Aces or kings? Ace king. Ace king. Ace king. I guess that is the only other option that he would have. Okay, we raise. He checks back on this flop. We have an ace. Just gonna look to showdown a lot there. Jack 10 suited will be raising. Need to rebuff on my small blind was big blind play. Yeah, we're gonna of course 3-bet here. Fold jack 9. Check the king jack. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just gonna get rid of these 25 set tables. I think they're kind of just more annoying than anything. And we're gonna bet here. Mr. Shuggy, cold call. I'm not sure what I want to do here. I think we bet. I think when Shuggy calls, Gluteny over here is going to have a pretty wide range. The issue is it includes a lot of king jack and queen jack. Doesn't have like ace king. It's just going to squeeze that a pretty large portion of the time. I think we're going to not value bet, but I think we're going to bluff here with second pair because I think he overfolds king jack and queen jack. I think he folds like ace 10, ace jack offsuit a lot with that, even with the caller. So I think, yeah, I just think he's going to overfold on the turn. And I think we fold up better hands. He obviously is going to fold like 10s and 9s and stuff we beat, which is a fine outcome in my opinion. He also might fold like king 10 suited or something like that came along. Because obviously when you have a mega whale like Shuggy, like cold calling you, your call range, he's going to end up calling a lot of hands that can hit, right? Like pocket pairs, stuff like that. You might even call one on the flop and then I'll kind of just give up. The 10s here, we are going to value bet. And we are, I'm going to bet here in the bottom left. I'm going small on this board this time because I want to double barrel it. Queen rolls off. That's not a great card for our range. I think I just have to check here. Okay, we bowed up. So I wondered, like, if he goes really big here, I don't know if I'm supposed to shove or not. We beat all the jacks though, and I think because he's a fish, he's gonna have king jack, queen jack, jack 10, ace jack, jack 9 suited sometimes, pocket jacks. And then theoretically, the odds of him having a suited king are pretty low, like a king queen suited or a king 10 suited. So I'm just gonna rip it. And then obviously if we run into like king queen suited, I think, or king 10 suited, that's probably the only two hands that beat us. Obviously king 10 suited is extremely unlikely. And I think he probably just calls a jack. Fold the king 6. Okay, flop top pair here. We're just gonna go for a check shove, I think. We could also go for like a donk lead and then let him shove, because then he can bluff more. Mr. Shuggy 3-bets. I'm going to fold to that. And I'm going to bet again here with the 2-pair. Fold the king 4. Oh, he comes over the top. Well, we're just all in. We have 2-pair. Like, if he has 8-jack, so be it. Yeah, that's awesome. But that's fine. Like, you got to get it in there against 20, like, not even 20 big blind stack. Like, what was he, 18 bigs or something? There's not much else to do there. Okay, raise the ace-9. The queen-9 off will defend. That's the button open. To put in here. Okay, and we're just going to go bet that shove here with the ace of clubs. Against a lot of fish, you take a lot of, like, sort of non-stand. Can I raise that? What happened here? Raises, yeah, call raise. Okay. I'm going to bet here with the nut draw. Clutney, 6-5 suited. It is a low frequency 3-bet there. I'm just going to fold it this time. I am going to check call bottom pair, even though it's 7 deuce. The king 6 off. So just fold here. Jack's a pretty good card. Probably win here a lot. This is another thing like fish you'll see do. They overvalue hitting a pair. Right, so he just decides he has showdown value there on the turn. I mean, he has a lot of outs on the turn, so checking it's fine, but he should probably bet that river the large majority of the time. And we're going to 3-bet the ace king. Well, our 8 tables is down to 4 tables of it. Perfect. We are going to go back to the NL 25-cent tables. Nobody will play us. Raise the ace deuce. King 3 suited. Oh, we're just going to fold now. So we'll defend the king 3 suited. Ruby Jones 3-betting it under the gun open. Not really something I want to squeeze. But I think these hands are fine to squeeze spots. I'm not sure how much GTO does it, but I think if you're blocking an ace and king, I don't think it's ever that bad. Okay, fold 10 deuce. Oh, GMC, our resident 100 big blind shipper. I'm going to raise the bottom pair because I don't want to just call it. Fold set 5. Okay, he calls. Okay, check. Checks back. And we can check the side river. I think I'll call this time. Lots of folding, lots of calling. His range is pretty mixed between like flush draws and like a king. So I think calling's fine. Probably just my S trips. Perfect. That's like a horrible check back on him by him on the turn, in my opinion. Fold the 9-4, fold the 3. But I also lean towards betting my hands more. I don't know. Like GTO is a lot more defensive, so maybe like GTO it's fine. But I think when I check raise and then 4 hits and I check to him, there could be some flush draws in the range. There can be 5-6. There could be like a king X there that I'm checking now, so he should be betting for value. Almost always, I would think. We're going to 3-bet the ace queen. Down. Okay, raise the king 8. So if he's calling that wide, like we need to obviously check raising all of our top pairs against him. He's going to be, if he's calling second or third pair, probably. Full king deuce. It's like this table is dying off. Again, we are trying to keep some sort of bankroll management. I guess we just fold this button, right? That's how it goes. So we don't want to be playing at 100 heads up much. Guess I check here. Okay, we're gonna value bet the 9. All right, flop top pair. I will lead into that. He raises. We're gonna call the 9. King jack off. We'll just defend here. He barrels again. Call this 3/4 pot though. Try call one more. And then if he does give up, or if he does rip. And we're just gonna back here. Sorry. He not 3-bet ace. That's bonkers. This guy just never 3-bets. Okay, fold the king 9, 8, queen 6 suited, just defend. Ace on the turn. He's gonna check back a lot of aces, so we're not really gonna get involved here. Fold king jack. Let's just see how many hands. So that's a big hand to lose there with the ace queen, but I think as played, it's fine. Turn maybe, fold turn. I mean, we fold sometimes, obviously, but I don't think we can fold 100% there. And we raise the ace deuce off. I'm just gonna fold the jack 10 here. What we got here? I guess we just get back on these NL 25-cent tables. We do see that here. The ace calls. So I'm going to check back the ace here because there's still a weak ace. And then we're just going to call river. Same in. Fold 7-3 suited. Guess we can see where we're at here. I feel like we're probably down farther than we were. We came out of it a bit. Okay, raise the ace 3 suited. So we had a bad start. We've run it up a little bit. We do have diamonds. We have backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight draws. So we're gonna bet here. All right, looks like we might have some heads up battling. If he actually stays, we are gonna raise the king 5 off. Raise here. And if he doesn't, I'm not playing this 10-cent, 25-cent table out there here. There we go. I think I'm just gonna back here. Do some checking here with the nut flush. I think we just keep betting. We do. We're just looking to check down here. I'm not getting anything much crazy. Here we're gonna have lots of bet shots on the turn, so we're gonna keep betting those. And we'll see if he'll defend the 10% and then like he does this time. I actually hate Ruby Jones with a passion. This guy always just is such a nit. Okay, the queen 9 suited, we bump up. He's got hit there one time. Hit and stack him. That's it. Okay, the ace 4 we raised. He donk leads into us on the board. With the ace, we're just gonna call. It's terrible. Pretty terrible flop for pocket aces multi-way. We're gonna ISO the jacks. This is actually gonna be harder than I thought it would be. Playing just 2 tables with heads up alone. Donk leads again. Gonna hold here. I am gonna call here with the ace. Yes, it's 2 pair and 1 pair. Out of 6. 6s. It's 12. Okay, we ISO there. We take it down with aces. No action. We're gonna bump up the king 10 off. We're just gonna keep raising limits until we have sort of a reason not to. We're gonna bet here. We're gonna raise the 10 deuce off. Doesn't seem to be 3-betting enough, obviously. So we're just gonna keep bumping it. And we'll just see how he adjusts. Raise here. I'm sure there'll be a point where he limp raises. Raise the king 6. Call donk leads again. We're just gonna raise that. We have specter, any spade, any 7, any like 5 that gives us outs. We're gonna barrel again. The king 2 suited, we'll just call. And we will bet again here with the 8-6. That down. We'll fold the king deuce. Here with the ace 2 suited, we'll go half pot and double barrel. Although I think going small against fish is fine. Like you want to bet, bluff small basically against them because they're just playing their hand. They're not really looking at your bet sizing and they're not looking at pot odds. They're just looking at their hand and think, oh yeah, I have this. I can hit this or I can hit that. And they'll just kind of roll with it. There it is. There it is. This guy is like classic for shipping like that. Okay, pocket aces again. Let's try to win a stack here one time. Okay, we'll try 6 against him. And he just leaves. It's like so classic. As soon as he starts to like lose it all, he's just done. Every time. No action. So here with like 7-7-7, we're just gonna go big. Okay? Because people are like, if he has 10s, jacks, queens, kings, I think. He probably doesn't have kings and queens, but if he has 10s and jacks, he's gonna start calling a ton. Because then he has a full house, right? So people kind of overvalue the strength of that. They don't consider board necessarily enough. Not sure if Jack 9 suited here is a 3-bet or not. I'm gonna do it because I think it's close. Pretty sure like Jack 10 suited I think is definitely 3-bet. I don't know if Jack 9 suited is a 3-bet or not. But I think it's perfectly fine to 3-bet it. Nobody 4-bets light, so we're not worried about that. It all comes down to like Drew Clutney, and Drew Clutney's a big fucking fish, so. And there's that ace again. So again, we're gonna go 3-bet pot. We're gonna go small here. We're just gonna pretend we have ace king, right? I think it's a pretty. Oh, look at that! Flush comes in and we boat up. Let's hope that they have ace king or a flush, and we do get raised here. And I'm gonna value bet the 4. Get called again. I'm gonna value bet the 4. I think if he has an 8, we're getting check raised on the turn. So I'm gonna check down the 4 now. We're not gonna go 3 streets with it, but he's just got a lot of ace X that's calling there. So we want to bet for value. One line I used to take all the time. I don't do it as much now against like a fish. Because like when you're mixing tables, if you're not playing like just specifically against a whole bunch of fish, the better players kind of exploit it a little bit more. On this board with this hand, I will check raise here. Queen 3 suited will ISO against. Oh, we got just like ripped on here, so that's easy to fold. But that like our board, we block king jack, block queen jack. We have pocket 5s, pocket 6s, we have tons of hands there that are going to be good for our range. So we just want to bet them. Okay, here we flop second pair. I am going to just check to him, and we are going to double barrel here with the flush draw. We're calling here with the queen 3, and we're going to bet here with the ace queen. All right, pick up a flush draw. Call again. We do pair up on the queen, so we'll check that back. And now we're just going to block bet the queen. I don't know if I can bet here. I think we probably do bet because of how often because how often fish will lead out on the river. Then like we should be betting against fish when they check rivers after like going check call, and then they check the river. Should be value betting pretty thin there. Especially even when like when the heart rolls off or the club rolls off or like whatever, when flush draw comes in, the straight comes in, they do so much donk leading because they don't want to miss value. So when they do check again, I think it's probably mandatory, and that we should be betting like extremely thin in those spots because we shouldn't be worried about the flush and straights and stuff. Obviously, if they check raise, you're just done with the hand, but it's like 95% of the time that's not going to be a thing. I think without a spade, we just fold here. And we'll just defend the 10-9, fold 8-deuce, fold 10-7. Ace-king suited, we'll bump up. Let's jump it on this table. And fold here. And I think I'm just going to dip out of this 25-cent table now. Raise the 6-7 suited, fold the 6-7, fold the 10 deuce. Three-way ace king diamond, no diamond. We're just done with the hand. And we'll 4-bet the 6-7 suited some portion of the time. Get called. And we're going to. This is probably just a one and done. Or so about half pot. Oh wow, it's unfortunate. And fold 7-5. All right, let's just see where we're at here now. Okay, EV's climbed into the profit, so that's nice to see. Check the second pair here. Fold the 8-6, just check call. I guess it's another half pot bet. Probably just fold the king 10 a lot here. Call sometimes. Definitely check folding river now. Just like ace 10 or something. Yeah, it's 5 off. The issue with folding too much to this guy is he's just spewing tons of hands. So when we have a decent second pair, there's flush draws and some draws out there, I think we'll probably have to call at least 2 streets. And we'll value bet 5. Okay, it's a pretty good turn for us. Good double barrel. Calls again, and then we're just gonna check river. Nice. If he shoved turn, we probably just were gonna call, I think, given how much equity we had there. Okay, calls out of the small blind. Does not 3-bet. He is 3-betting some portion of the time, so he's probably like 3-betting his premiums. Ace king, ace queen, jacks 10s, queens, kings, aces. So he check calls here on the flop. And we're going to value bet again on the turn. Again, like in spots like this, like jack queen, 7-8, like 10 jack, 10 queen, pocket eights, they all call flop. They all are going to call a lot on the turn, like ace 5 suited, ace 5 offsuit, ace 7, like any ace you might call. Some people just call every ace out of the small blind. But then on the turn, like we bet it, he's just like ace 4, ace 9, ace 10, pocket 9, pocket 4s. All those hands are going to check raise turn pretty much always at a position. And again, villains don't overblock. So it's like you can value bet, and then if you check raise it, you just fold. He's going to call everything that's worse than your hand. And he's only going to raise stuff that's better. So it makes it relatively easy to play anyways. Okay, we'll check the top, bottom pair, top pair combo. I don't think I'm going to leave it to any of these guys to bet for me. So I think we're just going to blast our top, like our pocket kings over pair. And this guy goes like really, really big here. Calls. So I think we call 1 probably with second pair picker. And then we probably just fold after that. It's a good chance he just rips 89 bigs right here. Well, he doesn't. So that's interesting. Okay, now let's try our 10% here as well. These are good spots to do it also. So if we check and he bets for folding, and if we bet 10% and he raises, there's just too much that beats us, so we're going to fold again. But his hands that are like Jack 10, Queen 10, Ace 6, those are all going to call. Fortunately, this time he has Ace Jack, of course. Of course he does. But again, we like to protect that 10% betting range. Okay. Raise up to 10-8. Raise the ace-7 suited. Raise the ace-jack suited. Okay, Ruby with 3-bet. We'll 4-bet ace-7 suited some portion of the time. But against this knit station, I think I'm just going to fold at our position. I'm assuming we raised. Yeah. And we're going to see that here again. Gets the limp call. Okay, so we're going to get trapped into just like blasting here, I think. I don't think there's much else for us to do. Unless he like snaps, like the king's just too good, and then even the queen on the river makes it less likely he has the queen. So we're just gonna end up blasting off here when we don't block hearts or clubs. We block like king jack, queen jack, ace queen, ace jack type hands, ace king. We don't really have ace king, but king knight suited with 3-bet some portion of the time, especially four-handed. Ace-6 suited, we're going to bump up. And 3-bet him. The GMC guy, he will spaz out. Super nitty, like doesn't like really 3-bet bluff at all. He has a relatively tight 3-betting range and stuff. As we've seen a couple times already. Here, I guess we just completed in the big blind. We checked the flop. I think we can lead out here on the turn small. And they're going to overfold. And then there's like, we hit 10, we hit a queen, we can value bet, we hit a diamond, we can value bet. And then there's obviously some bluffs that are going to be mixed in there. Ace jack suited, min open, we're going to be squeezing. Should he call? What's he doing here? 6%. I think I just let that go. I don't think 3-bet's enough for us to squeeze there. That might be a really good hand to squeeze. I don't know. I can check that too. But I think generally, if you have a pretty nitty 3-better, your squeezes they're not worth it a lot of the time. Just go down in value. Here's me. Here, for some value, half pot, I think it's fine. I think with flushes out there, there's no way Ruby Jones doesn't bet a 9 on the flop 4 ways. And then we're going to pull out a patent 10% bet. It's a 10. We bet through 1. And Congo doesn't snap. So he's either got king jack and he's like tanking shove, or he just has nothing. Like ace high or a busted flush draw, busted spade draw. But they're not going to bluff that because they never do. And theoretically, they're not the best card hands to bluff with. Because it blocks us from having those and it makes it more likely we have a value hand. But see how often this works? I don't know who all is watching this, but if you see this shit, it is retarded how often the 10% river bet works. It fucks everybody right up. All right, we're just going to bet here. If he has a king or a queen or a jack, he's not folding. Anything else, if he folds, it doesn't matter. There's no value to be had anyways. And then against this guy, I think we just keep betting. Yeah, it's a little tempting maybe to check to kind of the spewy players, but the flush draw, when it hits like the 3 flush cards, it's so obvious that it's out there that I think it's hard to get people to bluff it. Even the guys who are just like spazzing, it's just too difficult. We're just going to check fold king 3 suited. Oh yeah. Queen jack off. We'll 3-bet here. going to also 3-bet the king queen off. You like 3-bet this guy a few times too. He just gets like spazzy, not like super spazzy, but you can just you can like feel the tilt radiating through the computer from that guy. We'll fold queen three. Three ways. If GMC leads here, he's just gonna win the pot. Folds there. Checks here. It's 25%. 5. I don't know if I can bet fold this Sardukar there. Go a little bit bigger to try to entice him to not bluff. We're gonna slow play the queens here. Nice. Okay, we're just gonna check call. You obviously don't do a lot of slow playing at a position. Just insta gives up, eh? This move, guys. Folded third set. Wow. So he's never gonna bluff. So we're just gonna have to bet for him. I remember that hand. I shoved king queen top two, and he folded third set with pocket sevens. The board was like 7 king, like 4. Then there's a queen on the turn. I bet he called, and then I shoved river for like 1.3x pot, and he folded pocket sevens and showed. That was wild. No straights, no flushes out there. I've never seen anything so crazy in my life. I'm gonna bet here at the king. Probably just has an ace. King 7 instead. How do you have king 7? Okay. That was wild. All right, so here we're just gonna lead out. Oh, just snap folds. Snap folds. Okay, against Shuggy, I am gonna bet here for value with an ace because he has such a wide range that an ace is an extremely strong hand against his range. And we do it backdoors, backdoor straights, backdoor flushes. Okay, raise king jack off. Man, I'm so happy it's Friday. I've not wanted the weekend this bad in a while. Ugh. We're gonna raise the ace king. 2 aces. We're gonna see about that. Take it down. Yeah, it's another thing kind of keep in mind, I guess, against most of the nitty rags and the fish and stuff is they're not going to run a big bluff pretty much ever. Like their bluffs usually consist of a flop stab, a turn stab, or a river stab. They're generally not like, you know what I mean? They're not a well thought out bluff. It's more like, oh, he checked to me, I guess I'll just bluff because I don't have anything. That's kind of the totality of their bluff line. So he limp calls, reverse barreling the 10s. He just snap folds. Hey everybody, we're going to take a quick break and then we will be right back. We're going to hold here and we're going to hold the 7s to the limp raise. We're just going to sit out here quickly. Sit out right here. Sit on the next big line. So we'll play those through and then we'll take a quick break. Let's see where we're sitting here. I feel like the last few hands have been running good. Yeah, we're up there. EV's up there anyways. Fold the queen 4. Fold the king 6. Yeah, not a great start. A couple big losses, but looks like we've climbed out of it okay for now. It'd be nice to catch up to this EV soon, though. Actually start turning profits again. Wow. Oh, I need to upgrade. Gotta get some upgrades going here. So I need a new computer screen. Need a new microphone. Kind of working on 1.5 screens right now. The one got a little nick, and now kind of busted up a bit. So that's going to be on the hit list for sure. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at classic Ruby Jones with the nits. Or with the knit with the nuts. Okay, fold 10-7. Raise king queen. Okay. And we're gonna 3-bet the ace king off and call if he shoves 100 bigs. And we're gonna throw a little 4-bet here against Ruby. Oh, no way, that just happened. Right, so he has pocket, well, usually he would have pocket aces here. I'm just gonna bet small one time and I'm kind of done with this hand. That's hilarious. Man, that was a massive oversight here on my 3-bet sizing. This guy had 13.5 bigs, so now we're stuck multi-way on this board. We just gotta try 10% here and fold otherwise. Yeah, so that's a huge oversight. Something that has to be watched is if there's like a super short stack like that, they can they close the action and then you're locked. All right, we have the king of diamonds. It could be a skew, but I think we're just gonna rip this where the diamonds come in. We block. Yeah, and we lost to him. Unfortunately, the 9-ball on the turn. But we win 16. We get our money back plus a couple bigs. We'll take it. I forgot I was competing against him. That might make that shove really bad. All right, we are back. So we got a nice stack at the 1 ML 100 table. Looks like we lost one of the fish there, but tables look pretty good right now. We are climbing out of our tiny little hole here we were in, which is nice to see. Hold the 9-8. Sorry, check the 9-8, I guess. Okay, we're just gonna value bet here. Ace 5 suited. Do a lot of squeezing, do a lot of calling. Ruby Jones is always a big nit box, so he's a pretty good target for 4 bets because he's always going to overfold to them a lot. Okay, we make 2 pair, and we take some chips off of him, and we just check down here with Ace 5 suited. Pocket 8s, I'll go ahead and 3-bet against the button open. Looks like GMC left. Here, we do have gut shots. We block them from having the nuts. So this is 8. Fish did 4. We are all in. And if Sarduko somehow has a 9, the world is insane. We live in it. Okay, dodging overcards. It's got 25% equity. We will run it twice. Okay, top left, the patent. Oh, of course. Right off the hop. Right off the hop, he just smashes it. Oh, we run good, boys. We run so good. We run so good at this game. I don't think anybody has ever run as good as we do. Okay. Full in 5 deuce. This board here, we're going to go small-ish. And then we're going to blast turn. I need a chair too. Something's wrong with like the compressor or whatever it is in this thing. I'll just like rando start shrinking. Okay, we're going to barrel on the 10. Block Jack 10. Block Jack Queen. All hands that do not want him to have because he will call again. I guess the Jack Queen's not bad. We're technically ahead of it, but still. Okay, well now I'm going to value bet the Jack here on the turn. Allergies are coming in hot already. Okay. I'll just call here this time. He leads into us. That's interesting. Holy man. Allergy season coming in hot. Nishi here. Let's just have a quick review. We're all in. Not sure what to make of this. Check call, donk leads. Like, donk leads so much value. I guess I fold. Diamonds miss and hearts miss. Like, not really sure what to make of that. And Nishi here has got ace queen or pocket jacks, I would imagine. Tanking down like this. Or they're just putting on a show fold. Both options. Ace pocket jacks. This is not a good fold. Damn. Sorry guys. I'm trying not to sneeze into your ears here. We're just gonna call here. Let's not be too greedy. See, that's an interesting spot now. The deuces are a call most times. Nice. Excuse me. All right, we're gonna raise here. I don't think we need to go that big. Go 28. Okay, in position, we're just gonna call the deuces. He checks, so we're gonna bet now. I'm not gonna insta bet. I'm just folds, okay. Yeah, I think with the ace of hearts we don't want to go too big. Okay, we're also calling here. Fold here. Nice. Perfect outcome. Fold the king deuce. I'm not sure about the king, ace king shove on the turn. Check shove, I mean. I think probably with the ace king on this board. Ace king on this board. Curious what you. I'm sure there's some check shoving here, obviously, but I think the best line is either to go bet shove, because that keeps more of my king jack king queen in than like check shoving turn maybe. Just the board's not like if the board was like king 5 deuce 7 like 5 of clubs instead of 3 of clubs, I think check shoving turn becomes significantly better, just because we have a wider range of like draws and stuff there by doing it that way. We're full sevens. He checks back. We are going to bet the ace 10 here. I'm going to call one with pocket jacks here. We do have 4 outs. We can definitely have the best hand against this guy. We're going to fold to another barrel. And we are going to value bet the king or the ace here on the river. And fold 10 deuce. Raise the ace 9 suited. Fold the 6 7 off. Check the ace 9. And probably better off just 3-betting here. His ISO range over this guy's gonna be really wide. And I think we just lose too much. Like we call the 8s, he's gonna call. There's gonna be like 3 of us to the flop. There's gonna be like at least 2 overcards half time or something, and we're just gonna end up check folding way too often. So I think obviously squeezing it better. Ace 9 here. Looks like the tables are dying off, which usually happens around 7. I think people are similar to yours truly, where 7 o'clock is kind of the cutoff where they have to head towards the real world. Well, fold 6 deuce. 9 clubs, 8 spades, fold. King 9, 3-bet sometimes. The queen jack can be a 3-bet here. Not the best at 3 play. Okay, to raise the 10-9 suited, fold 3 deuce, fold the 6 7 off. This board will have up, we'll barrel a lot of turns. He checks back and then bets here. I guess I just fold to it. We're gonna ISO the jack 8 suited. And we'll just look in 7-5 suited this time. We'll call the ace jack. You have ruby. That'll be a nice little flopper if we could do that. King jack, raise. So we ISO'd here on this board at a position. I don't think we need to go very big. I think they're just going to fold a lot to us. And on that turn, I guess I just give up. He checks back flop on this board. We're just going to bet that. And here, we have 5 high. I don't really think an overbet's that believable, but I'm kind of relying on how many Jones is, and he's just going to fold a 10 to it. So I think that's probably fine. Deuces will just fold. King queen suited raising, 4 deuce fold. Ace 10 suited, we're going to bump that up. Okay, fold 10-8 off. So I know we just came back, but it is closer to 7 than I thought. So he actually 3-bets pretty small here, given my sizings. So I'm going to call and how deep we are. Probably force him into a lot of awkward spots, but I am going to sit out. We're just going to play with the blinds, and then that'll kind of be that. That's half pot here, or a little over half pot actually. I think we have to call at least one, and then go from there. Checks. Like he has ace queen. We have pocket aces sometimes, or pocket kings sometimes. Guess we check back here. He's going to do a lot of top controlling with ace king, I think, as well, given how deep we are. So he'll check and then value bet river a lot of the time. I see what you're doing. I am obviously calling with like the ace 10 here. We just get those like jacks or something. You think, yeah, I got work against me, stupid. I'm going to call every 10% bet. I don't care what I have. I'm never folding to a 10% pot bet. Ever. Because if you don't defend it like 90% of the time, you're getting exploited. So there's not a world where I'm going to fold to a 10% pot bet. But it did kind of control the pot. Maybe he thought he could show down ace-x. This guy's still just such a giant nit. But he's obviously good. Like he's decent. Like he's nitty, but he's a decent player. Like 3-bets properly, 4-bets properly, like to a point. Maybe not the 4-betting, but he's like, you know, you just put pressure on him and he'll fold a lot of the time, unless he has the nuts. You know, so it's kind of, you know, cautious aggression, I guess, against him. All right. So looks like in the end, pretty good session. EV ended up 150. We ended up 100. Kind of helped with our overall total there after yesterday's drop off. Climb back up here a little bit and just try to keep this rolling. But anyways, if you guys have been watching the stream, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. We'll see everybody at the next stream.